Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're joined by personal trainer and women empowerment extraordinaire, Auntie Philip. Auntie, welcome and thank you for joining us. You have done a lot for women empowerment and about the behaviors of women empowerment. Can you tell us what makes you so passionate about this?
What makes me so passionate? I think it stems from my grandmother and my mum. I recall my grandmother when I was 5 years old. Her hotel in Trincomalee was burnt to the ground, and she came to Colombo with just 2 pieces of clothing. And I saw her at the age of 55 having nothing but building a cake business. And I saw her being independent, never looking back. I never saw her cry. And for me, this was really being empowered to move forward. And I think she was ahead of her time. I also have my mom, who's an animal activist. She too is very persevering and determined, and I can see a lot of empowerment in her. And when I look at Asian society, I see a lot of women who need a boost in self-confidence, to feel empowered, to pursue their careers, to pursue their dreams. And this is what makes me really passionate.
With so many strong female role models in your life, you must certainly count yourself lucky to have been a part of that. What are the mindsets and beliefs that you aspired to when you were younger that other women could aspire to as well?
That's a good question. And I believe mindset and beliefs are very important. When we look at beliefs, it's really about having an empowering belief system. The wanting to achieve dreams and goals. If we limit ourselves, if we condition ourselves to think we can't do it, I don't think I can, those are limiting beliefs. Right? So it's very important to have that empowering belief mindset first of being positive, being determined, wanting to achieve, wanting to be successful, having positive energy, not worrying, not being critical, not thinking that one can't do it. So for one, mindset and an empowering belief system is very, very important. So I believe an empowering belief system is vital. Apart from this, so we have beliefs, what we truly believe in, and the mindset. The mindset to want to achieve what you want, to steam ahead, and to empower ourselves with this mindset, we need to be assertive. Right? Assertive skills are so important for us as women. Assertive simply means that we ask for what we want, what we need, without trampling on someone else. And most often, we find women in mid-management, even in senior levels, who are stuck in a place simply because they don't ask for what they want, or they don't elaborate on what they need. And this becomes very limiting for them. So simply being courageous, being brave, and saying, I need this, I want this, without trampling on someone is so important.
You did mention a lot about self-confidence and assertiveness, but there seems to be a reluctance in women within our region, say South Asia, Sri Lanka, India, where there's not enough women still at the management table. What do you think is stopping that?
Well, I believe that it's not just in Asia, it's the world over. Since the 90s, there's a very small change of women in management. Right? From the 70s, women wanted to get into management. This is why they started wearing a jacket. They wanted to look like men at the boardroom. And so they did, with a lot of perseverance. And we saw a rise in managers, female managers in the 80s, came up to the 90s. And then we realized that there's a very slight change. And this actually is stated in Sheryl Sandberg's book. She was the COO at Facebook. And in her book, Lean In, she actually advocates women to come into management and stay in management. And she says, please don't go before you go. Which really meant that, when women get married, they're looking to have children, they start nesting, and in their minds, they don't push for promotions. They don't push for wanting more for their careers. They like to remain in the same place, perhaps being stagnant, because they've already left in their minds. So what she did, she pleaded women, to not leave before they actually left. And this brings to mind what Melinda Gates says. She says that women define roles, and this is very important. In our mindset, we have a defined role. Women need to cook, women need to be in the kitchen, women need to raise children, they need to take their homework, they need to take them to school, they need to make sure the house is in order, the food is on the table, the place is cleaned up. There's so much more for women to do, as well as pursue their careers and their dreams, right? So if women define the role and say, this is my role and this is what I should do, then this is where we get into trouble. Quite often in my workshops, I meet women who wake up at 4 a.m, who cook 3 meals for the day, do all the cleaning, take the children to school, go for a full day's work, contribute to the economy of the home, come back, take care of the children, take their homework. And when I look at these women, they have health issues, they're stressed, their well-being is questionable. And this is not even a question they have asked themselves. Should I be doing this? So there's a lot of disparity in equality, or we say equity, in the household. And this is a question to ask. And also, I'd like to bring out the facts in terms of unpaid and unequal work. They say in India and South Asia, women do 6 hours of unpaid and unequal work compared to men who do less than 1 hour of unpaid and unequal work. In places like North Europe, Norway for example, women do 3.5 hours of unpaid and unequal work, and men would do about 3 hours. When we say unpaid and unequal work, this would mean taking care of children, cleaning, doing grocery shopping, cooking. You are not paid. And this is what we call unpaid, unequal work. Nowhere in the world is the equality equation the same. But it really depends on the region, where women have pushed forward, are more assertive, and ask for equality.
Ayanti, would you say that women are presented with opportunities and there's a lack of women taking those opportunities in the world right now?
Absolutely. I don't think all women take opportunity. I would encourage women to push forward, take opportunities, be brave, be assertive, take courage. And sometimes taking on more responsibility would be taking a risk, right? Because sometimes when you go into those management positions, it does demand a lot of time. It does demand a lot of capacity. And it's very important to set yourself up for success by having the family support, by having, they say you need a village to look after your children, and that's so true. And setting up yourself for support is very important. And by doing so, this is when you could take on more opportunity for yourself.
That's very insightful, Ayanti. What do you see as your own role when it comes to empowering women in the corporate arena?
Thanks, Denver. So I've had the opportunity of coaching women one-on-one, both senior and middle management, group coaching as well as training women. And I love these female-centric workshops because it brings a lot of passion, energy, and what I have is called a growth circle, We all sit around in a semicircle and we share stories. We share our challenges. We share our bottlenecks, where we can't push forward. And it's very important in these workshops to have a design alliance. So at the very start, what I do is I say, everything is confidential. It does not go out of the room. And when we start this way, people feel at ease, women feel at ease to share, to confide, to open up. And there's a lot that opens up in these forums. When we have these growth circles, this moves on to training and helping them elevate themselves to the next level. And this is where our training workshops come in. When we train them, we look at their personal branding, professional presence, how they can communicate effectively. In our personal branding sessions, we look at themselves, their strengths, their challenges, how they can overcome limiting beliefs fast, how they can push forward, what they visualize for themselves, what they envision for themselves in 5 years. And then we move on to other modules such as dressing and grooming. How do you dress to influence? Because packaging is your brand. We look at things like networking, small talk, business protocols, business etiquette, and your own professional code in personal branding. We also have another workshop on effective communication, particularly for women. How could they be assertive? How could they speak up? How could they understand different personalities and navigate themselves in the corporate field? And also, how do they give feedback to their seniors and also to their teams? How do they have good conversations? All of this helps them to elevate themselves to the next level.
And Ayanti, what kind of value do you think you can deliver to companies that are looking for your training specifically?
I believe empowered women in the workplace who could go up in their careers will offer so much value to a company. Research shows that with women's ability to multitask, they can manage so much more, their capacity is so much more, and women tend to work so much harder than their male counterparts in a corporate environment. And this has seen lots of value in companies. This certainly hits the bottom line. Having women in the corporate workforce does make your company more profitable.
Thank you so much, Ayanti, for sharing your wonderful insights. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for